Hey all, welcome back to Fire and Water Cooking. I am Darren, and today we're going to do something just a little bit different. You guys see me cook a lot of tri-tips. I really love tri-tip. It's one of my favorite things to cook. And I got a new aged prime grade tri-tip here from Wild Fork. You can check out Wild Fork down below, guys. I really like a lot of the meats that they have to offer. And we're going to do a reverse sear on the Lone Star El Fuego Trio using just the wood side. Just wood. We're going to use wood, and we're going to do a reverse sear. That's it. I haven't cooked on it with just wood yet, and this is going to be my first one. I'll be right back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Alright guys, so before we actually cook this or even get my smoker going, we're going to actually brine this for about 3 or 4 hours. So that's what I'm going to take this out of the package, trim it up just a little bit, get any big pieces of fat off of it. Then we're going to brine it with my Fire and Water Cooking's black garlic and coffee seasoning, along with the all-purpose seasoning. If you guys have been watching my channel a lot, you know this is my go-to for beef. Mixing these two, you get that coffee that's going to help it get a nice, good, robust flavor to it, and the black garlic and the salt and the pepper and all the other seasonings that I have in here. It really goes well with beef. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get this out of the package right now, just so you guys. This is a prime grade, like I said. Now I've cooked this before, these particular prime grade ones before, and I've also cooked a Wagyu one. So there's a video on my channel actually cooking both of those together to kind of show you the difference. And I'm really impressed with this prime grade. It's got a lot of fat on it, a lot of marbling in there, but I'm just going to really trim off just some of these big pieces of fat here. I'm going to leave a good amount of it on, and there's some silver skin right here, so I'm going to trim some of that off. Just going to trim some of that off and some of this fat, but I'm going to leave a good amount of it on there because I want it to render while it's cooking slow on the cooker. But I really just want some of these big chunks that are not going to render very well. And the silver skin, which won't render at all and just make it chewy. Alright guys, so I got most of that fat off that I wanted in silver skin, so I'm going to give it a good, healthy coating of both of these seasonings on all sides here. So I'm going to just make sure I coat it completely with both of them, and then we're going to make sure we get the edges and all that. And then we're going to sit it in the fridge for about 4 or 5 hours to get it nice and brined. I'll be back. Alright guys, I got some hickory splits right here on the charcoal tray, and we're not going to use any kind of basket today. We're just going to line those up and hit it with my grill gun to get them going. Won't take but a minute with this huge torch grill gun to get these hickory splits going. I'm going to give it a couple minutes like that, and then we're going to go ahead and close that door up and tame that fire back a little bit and try to get it to right at about 275 or so. We still want it to be kind of hot. We're not low and slowing it, so I'm just going to hit it to where it gets to an internal temperature of around 100 and let's say 128 or so, and then we'll do some carryover cooking. Then we're going to crank it back up and then raise our charcoal basket or wood basket as close up to the grate as possible to sear it off. All right, I'll be back when we're getting ready. All right, guys, so this is how the tri-tip's looking after it's been sitting in the fridge for about 5 hours here, just brining. That crust is really tacky now. Should have penetrated, that salt should have penetrated pretty deep in there. And our smoker is still getting up to temp there. As you can see, I'll move you over there so you can see that's really going pretty good now. So I'm going to close that door and try to get that temperature to around the 275 to 300 range. All right, you got the lid down, closed now. I turned my fireboard on. We're going to be monitoring the temp of the pit with both the fireboard and the dome thermometer. The fireboard one's going to be more towards the pellet hopper, but I've got my bottom vent open all the way, and the left side vent is going to be closed, and the right side over the pellet hopper is going to be open all the way until we get up to temperature. I'm not using the wood split basket that you see down on the bottom shelf today because we're not doing a long cook. We're just doing a kind of a hot and fast cook with a tri-tip. If I was doing a low and slow, I would use the basket. All right, guys, so the dome temp now is at 250. The digital just came over 235 and it's still climbing. I did back the vents down a little bit to slow it down. I wanted to get to, maximum 275 because we're really low and slow in this. So one of the good things about tri-tip, guys, that I like is you got thicker parts and thinner parts. So this part here is going to cook faster and get more done, which is going to be good for my wife because she likes medium to medium well. And this part here is going to be more medium rare for me and some of my other family members. So I really like tri-tip for that reason. And I'm going to put the probe in the thickest part. So I want this thickest part to be in that medium rare range, like about 131, 132 degrees, where I know this is going to be more than that, and I don't care because that's why I like these. All right, let me get this on instead of talking the whole time. I get my probe. Like I said, I'm going to stick it right in the meatiest part here, in the thickest part. And that's what we're going to monitor that. And I'm going to stick it just like this lengthwise. Matter of fact, I'm going to stick it right on top here so that meat or that heat and the smoke hits it right there. All right, let's see how that rolls. When the temperature stabilizes, we'll take a peek, see how it's doing up on that top shelf. Just a 10-minute check-in here, guys. So the dome temp is reading 275 and the digital is just past 262. So I did back the vents down a little bit more, and our internal probe is showing the meat is at 50 degrees. It was 40 degrees when I put it in, so it's rising a little bit too. So it seems to be doing pretty good up on that top shelf. So, all right, let's watch it a little bit more. Hopefully the temperature starts to cool down a little bit. If not, I'll back those vents down even more. All right, guys, we're pushing like 118 degrees on the internal probe of the meat. So we're doing pretty good. Our temp kind of spiked up a little bit. Now it's kind of back down. I did tighten the vents up a little bit more. So, but we're pushing close to the edge of the time for the low and slow part. And as soon as this hits a little over 120, let's say 122 or 23, I'm going to pull it. Then we're going to raise up the charcoal level here and sear it off. All right, guys, we're pushing right at 122. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. We're going to take this off, and we're going to leave the thermometer in it so that we can continually watch this temperature. And I'm going to put it right over here for now while we get this set up. The crank this bottom vent up, and I'm going to actually raise this right up to the top here. And I'm going to leave it open so that we can get that really, really hot. So I'm going to give this a couple minutes to heat up, getting all that airflow going to it. And you can tell it's starting to light already and spark. So that's a good sign. I don't know, guys. What do you think? You think that's searing temp or not? It really is. So it shouldn't have to be on there very long at all. So this is what I'm going to do. Oop. Look at that. Hope I don't blow my probe out. All right, guys, I'm going to get this thing off because I think we are done. I don't want to cook it any more than it is. So there we go. I'll see you over the cutting board. Well, take a look at that, guys. That's a pretty strong sear right there, for sure. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite over on the thick side where it's more medium rare. Like I said, this is going to be more done, which is great for my wife because she likes things on the medium to medium well side. So remember, you can see where the grain is here on this side, and then it goes this way because it's a tri-tip. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this way to get me a nice bite here off the corner. And it is still pretty close to that medium rare, even though it looks a little darker right now, but it's not. Wow. Very good smoke flavor to it. That real hickory wood gives it a really good flavor. And of course, these seasonings just bring out the beefiness. That coffee brings out the beefiness of the tri-tip for sure. And since it's prime, I got a really good juicing factor to it. Check it out, guys. The El Fuego Trio. Using wood on the reverse sear. Works perfect, especially using the fireboard that can monitor the temps. Really good. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Check out Fire and Water Cooking Edible Creations down below. Join our Facebook group, guys, on our Facebook page. Got them all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you with more cooks on the El Fuego Trio down the road. Just to prove it to you guys, I cut this tri-tip up after filming, just to show you that it is medium rare in most of the spots. And it is medium to medium well where I want it to be for my wife. So thanks for watching again. Make sure you follow us and like, subscribe, and share, of course. And check out Wild Fork Foods down below. And check out the Fire and Water Cooking Edible Creations seasonings.